Hi there, it's Julie with the Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers, also known as EMCN. I know that it is still very cold outside, and a lot of you aren't thinking about spending too much time outside, but right now is a really good time to be thinking about gardening. I know it might seem a bit too soon, but one of the things that's very important to understand here in Canada is that our growing season is very short. Some people, when they come to Canada, they're used to growing their own food and having a very long growing season. And when they come to Canada, they want to participate in gardening and making sure that they have, some extra fruits and vegetables and those sorts of things to feed themselves over the summer. So it's a really important thing to kind of understand that you still can participate in those things. I'm an avid gardener. I love gardening. And it's usually here in March and early April that I start planning how I'm going to garden, what I'm going to garden, and those sorts of things. And so this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some tips with you to help you understand how those things are done here in Canada, specifically in Alberta. So the first thing we'll talk about is when to plant in Alberta. The Canadian prairies has a relatively short growing season. People usually start planting on the May long weekend because this is when the weather warms up and there's no more frost. The growing season then goes from late May to September. Harvesting is usually complete by September, but depending on what you plant, some root vegetables can be harvested as late as October. Let's take a look at some vegetables that grow well in Alberta. You can find out a lot more at the garden centers of hardware stores, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've had success with. Some things that grow really well are potatoes and zucchini, tomatoes and beets, carrots and beans, radishes and onions. Now let's discuss some options on where to plant in Alberta. You can always look into the option of a community garden space. This is an area that a community has set aside specifically for gardening, and neighbors can apply to get an area to plant themselves. Here in Edmonton, a lot of these community gardens are run by community leagues. To find the community league for your neighborhood, go to efcl.org. Here you'll put in your postal code, and it will show you the name of your community league. Then you can scroll down to see a link to your community league's website. Clicking on this link will take you to the Community League website. This particular league has a section that you can go to that will give you more information on its community garden. This particular league has a wealth of information on community gardens, including the cost and how you sign up if you are part of that neighborhood. Community gardening spaces can vary in size. The plot I have at my community garden is 10 feet by 12 feet, which is approximately 3 meters by 4 meters. This is a picture of mine from last spring, and this is what it looked like at the end of the growing season. If a community garden space is not available, you can always plant in your yard. This is a picture of my raised garden beds in my backyard in the springtime, and here they are again at the end of the growing season. If you don't have a yard, you can always container garden and put them out on your balcony or porch. So let's review a few of the things that we've learned today. The growing season in Alberta is very short. It begins in late May and runs to September. Even though the season is so short, there are still lots of different vegetables that you can grow. You can look into getting a community garden plot, plant in your yard, or in pots or containers. No matter which option you go with, one thing is certain: having fresh vegetables to harvest and eat is a wonderful thing. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe.